What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Boot Breakdown. You're looking at three guys who's very, very tired, but here we are, bringing you the best that we can bring you today. And with that being said, I pass it on to the one and only Jordan Taylor.
When you talk about you got to do a Sunday show after 3 straight days of 8 games in the Superdome, boy, I am mentally drained of high school football at the moment. But let's go ahead and finish this baby strong and make sure we give give the proper congratulations to the 8 state champions and the runner-ups that participated this past week in the Superdome. Man, we saw some classics. We saw some unforgettable finishes. We saw a little bit of everything and more. We saw first-time champions. We saw back-to-back champions. It was a great weekend to see you guys right here, to see my friends, to see familiar people, to meet new people. I always look forward to the Superdome just because of the case of just to get to meet, see you guys for at least once a year, you know.
Oh, without a doubt, man. It's always a reunion amongst friends. You get to see you, see Lamar, and even other people from different other entities. You get to see them, man. So
Yeah,
it's just not about also going watch football and enjoy it and report back to the people who watch our shows, but it's about also connecting with the guys that we are friends with once again that we don't see often.
absolutely. The beauty of high school football is we all have one big reunion at the
Yes.
end of the year, and the biggest spectacle there is in the state championships at the Caesar Superdome. So what are we doing tonight? Me and you gonna rock this pony or what?
Well, I think Lamar will be back. Nick just texted me. He's at the Saints game, so
Okay.
he said he'll come on later if he can. But he's at the Saints game.
I got a minute left. We got a 17-17 ball game right now.
Oh
I'm
snap!
surprised. I'm surprised you came on as early as you did because I knew you would want to finish the game just like what I'm doing right now in my right corner.
I got it right here in my left corner.
Here you go. Panthers getting ready to punt. We're getting ready to talk a little high school football from this past weekend. First off, you did have back-to-back champions. You did have brand new champions. It's always great when you can walk away from the Superdome knowing there is new blood there, and there is new champions there also.
Yeah, yes, yes. You know, and I'm also the guy that love to see people repeat. I love history, but teams like Iowa getting their first ever state championship. It was great to see that, and a great ball game between them and North DeSoto. So it was great to see that as well. Them getting their first championship. Washita, I think their first one since 1989, and hadn't
89.
been back hadn't been back there since 1994 when they lost to Hornville. So they got the job done. And
I
another
mean,
good ball game against Ruston.
look at Dunham, 2004.
Yeah, 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 and done it since 2004. And of course, Neil Weiner being there for his third time the charm, got it done.
When we look at all the state champions, I mean, you talk about tradition, you talk about history. You got to start with how we kicked off the Prep Classic and say to yourself, 18 state titles in program history. Haynesville and Mangum really set the tone of the weekend. I'm not going to lie to you.
It did set the tone, and I think we all thought that it would, and that we thought it was the right game to start off the Prep Classic. And man, what a ball game it was, back and forth from both teams. But Haynesville just just showing that experience in playing for state championships, especially the last 2 years, can help play a factor in them winning this ball game. Mangum was all gun, is all gun, but just came up a little short in a great ball game with Haynesville.
And we're going to talk about all of these games here tonight. Um, the quarterback play in that game was insane. Those two do it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, without a doubt.
When you take a look at some other matchups and you say to yourself, Riverside and the program that they have built over the years, you can say to yourself, it's crazy to think that that's only their second title in school history, but they were the best team in that division this year.
Yeah, without a doubt, the best team in the division. Very dominant performance from the Riverside Rebels. And Coach Roussel and his staff, they have done a marvelous job of building that program up. First title since 2016, second appearance since then, second appearance in the last 3 years. So they've done a great job.
Lamar, we're just talking about how the 18 state titles for Haynesville and what a run it's been for that school, and talking about how only the second title for Riverside. It feels like they have a lot more or should have a lot more.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, first off, we'll talk about, I mean, like you mentioned about Haynesville here, they have been the standard, especially for small school football, but it had been a good minute since they had won a championship. And finally, to get a chance to hoist another one, they get a chance to update their sign. And had a pretty good showing in this past tournament as well. And like you said about Riverside, I mean, this is a team that always seems to get down there. Um, as you mentioned before, you feel like that they should have more than their two championships there, but still a program that nevertheless knows how to get down there and at least play for championships there. So again, two really small, good small school teams there that really do a very good job in what they do.
And that was Haynesville's first title since 2014, a long awaited number 18, guys.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
You talk about third time's the charm for many of schools in the state of Louisiana, and I'm sure you can say Haynesville, after those first two runner-ups, this one has to feel extra sweet, knowing that they capped it off on the third trip to the dome.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Definitely. I mean, you think about it, I've seen teams get to the dome 3 straight years and lose. One being the emblem on my hat. And it's never a good feeling to keep getting to the dome and you lose. So Haynesville, they wanted to get rid of that taste in their mouth, and that's what they did. So finally capitalized on an opportunity to win that state championship.
Yeah. That Riverside Ascension Catholic game, it felt like Riverside was in control from start to finish, but you have to credit Ascension Catholic and the fight those guys fought. They could have laid down, but they didn't, and they made this game close right there at the end, and a big field goal, the separator.
Hey, Lamar.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, just all that through. Great game, great atmosphere for them, and great chance for them as well. Getting that big field goal was a big thing for them as well. Had a very good game plan and pretty much took it from start to finish there.
And I tell you what, we speak of field goals real quick, JB, before you go.
Uh-huh.
And special teams, in my opinion, this past state championship weekend has to be the most included I've ever seen, in that it came down to certain situations. And I'm looking at Tyler Shuck just got his head taken off.
He'll be
And
all
I'm
right.
looking at you start to look at special teams and you say to yourself, man, there was a lot of games that was decided on special teams this past weekend that I can't recall seeing in years past.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it, like what games can come down to the special teams helping out teams win a state championship, and that's what happened in a few games, due to some extra points being missed or 2-point conversion, or not 2-point conversion, extra points, that's special teams. We've seen block punts, kickoff returns being returned back. So it's part of the game, but it showed its face more than often this past weekend.
Lamar, we saw a roughing the punter that was a decider. We saw a missed game-winning field goal that decided a state championship. We watched a redemption field goal opportunity right there at the end in one of those games. We saw a little bit of everything and more in these special teams departments this past weekend. And if you're Iowa, they're just going for two, right, Jimmy? Put up 50 and no extra points needed.
Right. I mean, I think again, as you mentioned before, it kind of added to the flair and to the dramatic of what this weekend definitely was. I mean, anything that you needed here in this one, because again, special teams sometimes, in some cases, having a kicker means a whole lot. I mean, I even had there was somebody, one of the
Keep
guards.
your offense on the field.
I don't know.
There was even one of the there was even one of the guards that turned to me and asked me about Gina, for example, and she was like, "Gina ain't got no kicker," and I was like, "Well, no, unfortunately, they don't have a kicker, but they used to have one, but like you said, for some cases, for some places here, having that kicker, having great special teams, definitely does matter the most in the game there like this."
And I mean, it's not just kicking, guys. There was explosiveness in the kick return game this past weekend, also, in all 8 games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, every game pretty much. I mean, St. Charles had one.
North Dakota had won
North
every kick
Dakota had
return.
one every kick return pretty much. You're right. So it was there, man. It's something that we won't forget.
Wasn't it? Wasn't it? The Mangum kid that had that kickoff return also for a touchdown. The kickoff on Thursday.
Yep.
It was a special weekend, guys, and as we just continue to go throughout things, Friday night, you saw one of the better players in the state of Louisiana really light things up in the passing the game with Elijah Haven, and oh yeah, he's coming back for another year.
So we get to see him for one more year. My God.
Will we get to see him in a dome for 3 straight years as we watch this field goal? And it is good. So you're telling me the Saints don't want a better draft pick? They just keep winning.
You got a flag. You got a flag. You got a flag on the play. It's a flag on the play.
No?
It's on the Carolina.
All right. All right. So good thing we cut Groupie, right?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm sorry to say it, man.
Let's go back to that Dunham winning their first title since 2004 on Thursday night to close out. He was every bit as advertised. This is our second opportunity to see him in the dome, and boy, did he come back with vengeance this year.
Well, he had it on his mind from last year, especially when they had a chance to win the game and he gets intercepted by Karan Eugene. So he had it on his mind from last year that the goal was to get back to the Superdome and rewrite the wrong that happened the year before, and that's what they did. And he had so much time to throw, and he was just very accurate with most of his passes. And then for short yardage situation, if he had to run, he'd take off running and get the first down. So it was like it's like a man amongst boys when it came to Elijah Haven. He was very, very phenomenal and very, very spectacular to watch play on Thursday night.
Yeah, especially in these last 2 years, where he had a great game last year. Unfortunately, it just didn't end up with a win. But this year, again, righting the wrong there, definitely worked box office. A lot of people really wanted to at least get a chance to see him and at least get a chance to say, "Hey, I mean, I got a chance to see one of the top recruits in the nation." He definitely put on a show out there for it. He was not going to be denied this time around, and I think that he kind of gets that championship now, that long-awaited championship that he really wanted here. And a lot of people were kind of even saying, like you mentioned before, one more year of this, and that's just going to be so incredible to see what leaps does he make from junior to senior year, because he had a great year this year. And what year does he bring out this year? What will it be like a coordination for next year as well? We can't wait to see what goes on with that. But he definitely put out a good show in this one here.
39-37, Haynesville beat Mangum. 31-21, Riverside beat Ascension Catholic. And 34. What was that final score for the Dunham game, real quick, guys?
34-17.
in the 34-17. Dunham beats Calvary Baptist. What was the best thing that you saw on Thursday, JB?
The best thing that I saw on Thursday, game wise or something else wise.
Just anything that sticks out to you from Thursday.
Oh, okay. Um, Performance wise, Elijah Haven, but best game to me was that for Thursday, Mangum and not North Dakota, Mangum and
Haynesville.
Haynesville. Yeah,
Isaiah Washington went off, didn't he?
he sure did. He sure did.
Lamar, what stood out to you from Thursday?
I just have to say Haven. I mean, I unfortunately I didn't get a chance to see that first game, and man, from what I heard, it was a great game to get a chance to see. But Mr. Haven, I mean, just was amazing. Great getting a chance to see what he was able to do and the show that he put on Thursday.
When we moved to Friday, guys, you knew Iowa and North Dakota had an opportunity to be explosive. We didn't know what we were in store for, but we should have known, knowing that two teams, one of them was going to walk away for a state title for the first time in school history. And boy, did it live up to the hype. This one was a thriller to the very last minute. Late game drama, and the Yellow Jackets get their first title in school history, 50-43. What a game, JB.
Man, this is one of the better games this whole weekend. Great offensive ball play from both teams. Defense really couldn't stop one another. But once halftime came, I said, all right, whoever get a couple stops will win this game. And Iowa was able to do that. Iowa just didn't particularly keep to the running game. They actually were passing the ball some. And Jeremiah Bushnell, to me, that's the best receiver I've seen in the state this year. I'm telling you, I haven't seen no receiver better than Jeremiah Bushnell this year. That's the best receiver I've seen. And I'm just like, man, did they not give him the ball even more this season for us to talk about him more? Because that guy is dangerous. And to see
you know that old saying, when the lights shine the biggest, the stars come to play.
True. But man, I was just so impressed with Jeremiah Bushnell. And Coach Johns made a decision to get his best players the ball and then some. And Bushnell would get the ball and then make plays, making people miss with ease to score touchdowns. So man, that was to me the best wide receiver I saw this entire season. And they got a couple stops on North DeSoto, and that was a ball game. That was all she wrote.
Yeah, just have to really agree on that one too. I think he gave them a little bit of a dimension, and I think the other thing that that really stood out to me about Iowa was the way that their offensive line was. One of the guys that was next to me, we were really impressed. Ian Ozan from WWL, we were really impressed by the offensive line play that they had. I think 67, 75, and 77 really did a very good job at where at one point Ian had kind of mentioned, shoot, they're doing so well, we might have to give the offensive line, the player of the week award there. But I think what Iowa was able to do, there at one point, I think they had about 8.5 yards per carry or something like that.
They were gashing them. Gashing them.
So they did their job, and they had wide open holes, and they were able to really move the ball very, very well. And then in that last drive, they were also able to kind of salt the game out a little bit there as well with those things. So, it's just a testament to what they did and the credit of what they did, but also Mr. Bushnell adding an extra dimension as well with his receiving chops as well too. So just overall great game plan what Iowa had.
Yeah, Houston commit. They're getting a good one.
Yes.
That middle game, 34-20, Sterlington goes back to back. Love this. I love what I saw from Gina early in that game. They were not intimidated by the big lights, and they came ready to play that first half. But you got to credit Coach Lee Doty and his staff and the adjustments they made after halftime, and they really took over the football game on the line of scrimmage and the ability to shut down the run.
Well, that's where I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit.
I say start the run, double cover number one on the outside.
Bam, bam, you said it. There it is. There it is. Because Cooper was killing them in that first half. He was unstoppable. Once Coach Doherty decided to double blanket him, it was all she wrote. The running game didn't work, passing game was done, and that just made Sterlington continue to move on and be successful with everything they had to do. So once they did that, it was a wrap, and it was a good coaching move from Coach Lee Doherty and his staff on saying, "Hey, we can stop this passing game right now. We're going to win this game." And they decided to double blanket Cooper, and that's what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was a good coaching move at first here for Gina to give him the ball, give Cooper the ball, because I think that kind of opened things up a little bit there too,
Yeah.
where he had a great turn. He had a great game as well, where a lot of people got a chance to really get a chance to see what he's all about. Cedric Wilson, Daniel Hatcher, definitely have been the guys that have really made this team move a good bit this season. But Zadrian Cooper, I felt like was an X factor, and at one point they weren't really they didn't do a great job in really letting him and basically containing him. But then the everything flipped there in the second half, and that, I think again that was a great coaching move by Sterlington there. Again, just about a team that had been there before, and also taking advantage of those two pick sixes at the end that really kind of gave them the victory there in that one.
Yeah. And we're gonna go all the way back to the beginning and really break down these games. So we're just going through right now immediate thoughts. Um, then we go to the nightcap. St. Charles wins this game 23-21, but it did not come without a dramatic finish. We said it in the bleachers as one of the more crazier innings that we can ever remember in a high school football game. And I'll tell you what, I'll be here today from myself that represents the UTL platform, and I'll say I stand with number 50. So I just want to make sure I get that clear because I know this is not an easy 48 hours or 24 hours that he had to go through. And I know he has the love of Shaw, and I know he has the love of his teammates. So I just want to let everyone know that I stand with 50 also because that's a tough moment for a high school kid right there.
Yeah, tough moment.
23 20, 23-21 redemption for the kicker after the missed extra point. They goes and get a 44-yarder to win it right there.
Well, since we're gonna get into everything later, I'll save everything for later that I have planned to say. This is quite a bit. But anyway, congratulations to St. Charles Catholic, Coach Stein, my guy, and his staff. Congratulations to them. There's to me no wrongdoing from their part, so congratulations to them. Um, Shaw dominated this game, and Shaw should have won this game. They dominated St. Charles Catholic, both sides of the ball, both sides of the ball. But as you saw, we had some mysterious events happen, and I'll talk more about it when we get into it, like Jordan said. But to me, this game could have been the best ball game the entire weekend. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I stand with number 50 as well. After that play, I mean, again, just a sad way. I can only imagine what's going on through his head right now. Kind of like the same way as we said about the kicker that missed the extra point. I mean, I could only imagine what was going on through his head at that point as well, because we could have all been talking about him in this situation as well.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, way to rebound, way to regroup, to make his wrong a right, and it just took a lot. Again, a great game. Just I think an interesting finish, pretty much, and everything. If you were very entertained there, but just a great game overall between two district rivals, and they definitely brought it out there.
That was the first of three district matchups. The second one on Saturday at noon. Boy, did Ouachita Parish and Ruston have a heavyweight fight. 21-20. You talking about dramatic finishes this weekend? Well, this one is definitely up there in the top three. Uh, game a game winning field goal missed in Ouachita Parish. Party like it's 1989. But you have to go back to that drive when Hudson had the big catch and the run after catch, and then that DB never giving up on the play and poking that football out when we looked like Ruston was going to go up at that point in the game. So the little things matter to win a state championship, and that's a big little thing that happened right there.
Oh, big time, big time. That's what you tell you. Never give up on a play. And Ahmad Hudson, man, he was making a play. Did he make a play, man? And then out of nowhere, one of the defenders for Ouachita comes from behind and strips the ball, and Ouachita gets the ball back. And Ahmad Hudson, man, he was hurt right then and there. No telling what was going through his mind as well, because he probably feels the same way as number 50 for sure. And they had to help him up on the sideline. So I mean, it's tough, it's hard, but you got to credit Ouachita for not giving up on the play and playing good defense pretty much during that game. And then Ruston got the ball back, but 50-something yard field goal for a high school football kicker, man, it's very, very hard. And he came up short, and Ouachita able to walk out with the state championship.
Yeah, they were attempting a state championship record for a field goal, which was 51 yards, and they were attempting a 52-yarder, and that's a tall task. That's a tall task right there, especially with the heartbeat rate I'm sure he was going through.
Right. Wydell Clark, I think, an incredible fourth quarter, and he did it both ways because he was the guy that forced that fumble from Hudson, but also that go ahead catch, from 30 yards out to really help them help Ouachita get that win there. That was big. So if you're gonna have a quarter like that, it better be in that fourth quarter, and it better be for a state championship. And he definitely did that.
And I don't know if you guys saw the video I posted after the missed field goal, but Clark ran right up to us over there in the end zone. So that was a cool video right there. And then the nightcap, boy, did the fans deliver, didn't they?
They did.
What a beautiful moment to see that many people inside the Superdome with the Battle of the 504. The bands were great. Pre-game was great. But when they got between the lines, Core did Core things. 49-14. The university gets number 8.
Yeah, the university just on a different level compared to other teams. We're just on a different level. St. Augustine, one of the best teams in the state. They just not on the level where Edna is at yet. So they still got some work to do. But, credit St. Augustine for finally getting back to the Dome state championship game. Been 46 years, so credit them. But Edna is just a different beast right now.
Yeah. I tell you what, my favorite moment from that entire game was watching St. Augustine do their alma mater at the end and seeing how much alumni was actually in that building. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. They were there. They showed up. That
was a powerful moment right there, even in the feet. Everyone in the bleachers, in the second decks, in the suites, on the field, standing there with the alma mater. So that was a powerful moment.
Yeah, a lot of them came back, and when I checked out of my hotel on Saturday, there was a guy that came back from Texas and he was like, man, I just wanted to see the St. Aug game, and it's been a long time and everything. And the other question he asked me was he wanted me to explain what's the difference between select and non-select, and well, I tried to get my flow chart there, and unfortunately couldn't make it work there in that case. But again, just a lot of guys, a lot of people in the dome. 34,500 people in the dome for that game. We were expecting more, but they did open up that middle section there, and it was again a beautiful sight to see. Just overall, the pageantry and just also seeing everybody come together for a game like that. I mean, even the celebrities came out there. I mean, Honey Badger was there. I think Fournette was there. We even saw Juvenile there. So
Sure
just
did.
overall a great experience.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. The city definitely delivered on Saturday evening. Favorite moment from Friday?
Oh God.
The lights went out.
The lights just went out too.
My goodness.
Oh man. Favorite moment from Friday. It was I would have to go our way. Our way winning the state championship, their first one. That was my favorite moment from Friday.
And then you did a heck of a job in the pregame show.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
That's mine. That championship call is everything. Amor?
I think
seeing Gina there?
Yeah, I think seeing Gina there for sure. I mean, that was a good one. I think mine was also outside of really the game itself because I follow one of the parents for Gina, actually, the mom of Cedric Wilson, and she was talking about. I think she was somewhere very much in close quarters where one person from Sterlington was talking about her son and how good of a player that he was without realizing that Ced was right there. And so they took pictures with him and everything else like that. So, just kind of gracious to see two very good fan bases, obviously get it together in a game like that. But at the end of the day, be able to congratulate each other and also give props to something like that. I think that was just very beautiful there.
Your favorite moment from Saturday? I'd say mine was the Armada moment. What's yours?
Favorite moment from Saturday? I ain't gonna lie to you, be honest with you. Beating Juvenile. Getting me Juvenile. I got to meet Juvenile. I got to meet Helena Moreno. But yeah, meeting Juvenile. And I didn't even realize, I walked past him and didn't realize that was him because I saw a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in probably about 10 plus years on the car sideline. And we talking and I looked and he was right there. And I went, hey, Juvie. I said, man, may I please get a picture with you? He was like, yeah, man, you get a picture, man. It's all love, homie. So yeah, got the picture, man. And that was it. Yeah, Juvenile.
Lamar, favorite moment from Saturday?
I think my favorite one is just seeing Ouachita finish this thing.
From
because
fifth to last team standing.
Right. Like I was there for their last loss when they played against Ash at Butch Stoker Stadium. And this was a good team. It's just you just had a feeling that if they could put it all together, they could have an amazing run, and they sure did. And as what Jake Martin said in his in one of his headlines, don't let Ouachita get hot.
They did.
Those words fulfill the prophecy right there.
There you go. Let's go back to Thursday, guys, and let's talk about Haynesville, Mangum, and let's get some of these stats out real quick because you look at this and you say, how the hell did Haynesville win this game? Well, we'll tell you how they won this game. First off, your total yardage. Mangum had 567 total yards to Haynesville's 282. Passing yards, Mangum 83. Haynesville 0.
Mm-hmm.
Rushing yards, Mangum 484 and Haynesville 282. And then you look at the turnover battle. 3 turnovers to 1. 14 of those, 2 of those turn into 14 points. A pick 6 and a scoop and score. When you see a dominating stat line like this, you walk away from this game and say, how? And then you look at that turnover battle and say, okay.
Yeah, that's what did it. I mean, we saw Mangum being able to go up and down the field at ease sometimes, but then when the turnovers happen, that is what happened, and that's how Haynesville won it. I told that to somebody Thursday night going home. I said, yeah, the comparison of yards isn't even close. Mm-hmm. But when you're able to get turnovers and even get a chance to score off those turnovers, it can help you so much, and that's what happened in this ball game here.
And we can't forget about the 4th and goal from the 1 stop also.
Yep.
But this had the similar feel of the second round of playoffs, right, JB? ERAF and Union Parish. That had the same feeling
thing.
right there.
Same feeling. Yep.
Dominating stat line and still lose a ball game. Lamar, your thoughts on, you hear those stats and you say 18 wasn't easy, but that turnover battle, if you win it, you usually walk away with victories, no matter at any point in the season.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why they preach turnovers, winning the turnover battle, because everything could happen. Like you said, you can give up a whole lot of yards, but if you force turnovers, that usually is the one thing that can change the ball game there. And that was just pretty much it. A dominating performance by Mangum. I mean, we can't go away from that there. They dominated pretty much with the ground game and everything else like that. But just one turnover too many for them, and it turned out to be the one thing that really changed everything.
Your thoughts on Haynesville Mangum, Nick?
My mic muted.
No, it's not.
Oh, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
I apologize, fellas. How y'all making out? Great game, Mangum. Man, I tell you, it was a class. If you're a lover of the run game, that was the game to be at. I got egg on my face. I picked Mangum. Me and JB picked Mangum. We thought it was their time. They had an opportunity to win it, but you know what? Haynesville showed that power football still could win it.
Haynesville showed you that the turnover battle can still win it.
That too.
But I picked Mangum also on Wednesday night. I wanted to see a first title since the 50s.
Yeah.
Moving along, we go to that 3:30 game. Some stat lines for you in that Ascension Catholic Riverside game. And I would be remiss if I didn't say 39-37 Haynesville with the win. That was a late safety right there at the buzzer that gave this a 39-37 finish instead of 39-35. All right. Ascension Catholic finished with 260 total yards. Riverside finished with 360. Ascension Catholic passing yards was 28. Riverside 235. Rushing yards, we were curious about this, how the two running backs would play. 232 rushing yards for Ascension Catholic and 135 for Riverside. Riverside wins the turnover battle 2-1. And JB, I'll start with you. We thought it was going to be the Russian attack from Riverside, but he lit things up in the receiving game. And I'm not even going to attempt his last name because I bombed it all week.
You talking about Kenrick Johnson, number 4?
I guess I'm wrong again. I was talking about,
because I think you're talking about Obikwe, but Obikwe only had 2 catches for 48 yards.
That shows you I was up there eating too long.
But Kenrick Johnson and Christopher Becknell were the ones with the yards, 89 and 72.
Whichever one made the insane catch right in front of us, right there on the sideline.
Yeah, I think that was number 4, Kenrick Johnson.
Okay.
I think that's his number. Might be wrong, but Kenrick Johnson was the one. And yeah, I mean, we thought this would be big time running game between the two big running backs, Obikwe and Simon. And we got it from both guys a little bit because Simon had 154, Obikwe had 72, but I think we were looking for something bigger and better and quite didn't get it. But with that being said, we saw how versatile Riverside is with throwing the ball. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't just one person from Riverside that threw the ball. It was a total of 4 people. Brock Bourgeois threw it for 142 yards. Chris Becknell for 46. Cameron Matt threw for 12. And Jaden Obikwe threw one for 35 yards. So Coach Roussel, he was opening up the playbook and did some. So, I mean, getting everybody involved in the passing game. We talk about everybody who received catches as well. So just showing that they just wasn't a big-time rushing team. They are versatile in the passing game as well. Total of 235 yards passing, which helped them in this ball game get that victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, just good balance for Riverside, as what JB said. They were able to pass the ball very well, run the ball very well in that contest. But I think another thing, too, was very solid defense that they were able to have. I mean, a couple of sacks that really helped them out there, gaining, forcing turnovers as well. And in the matchup there that kind of helped them out there, that really gave them the chance and ability to win. I think pulling the game away in the third quarter, that also helped them out a little bit there because it kind of gave them some good momentum going. And, it just was a testament to everything working well and working right for them.
Yeah, kudos to the Rebels, man. They came in with an attack. I had a time to spend with some of those folks at the tailgate, and all of them was confident they was going to be able to pass the ball on Ascension. And I don't know if Coach Lee revealed something to them, but they felt that they could have passed it when they wanted to. But I think JB, and George was at the sideline when that field goal opportunity was, and Riverside elected not to go for it, and they turned the table because the next play, Ascension scored a big-time touchdown. That could have been a real egg on your face moment for that team that was trying to finish this game.
And then an opportunity later in the game, and he drills the sucker to go up 2 possessions.
Yeah.
So 31-21, Riverside Rebels are state champions. So we want to say congratulations to Haynesville. We want to say congratulations to Riverside. Now let's go talk about those Dunham Tigers that capped off their first state title since 2004. 34-17. Here's your stat line. Total yardage, Dunham 486 to Calvary's 222. Passing yards 280 to 209. Rushing yards 206 to 13. Calvary won the turnover battle, but it did not matter in this one. What really stood out to me, JB, was 280 passing yards, 206 rushing yards. So it wasn't just Elijah Haven slinging it around the yard. This was a balanced way to go win a state title.
Yeah, balanced way to win it. But Elijah Haven, man, is the main key. And like I said, he had time to throw. He's very accurate. He can escape the pocket, still keep his eyes down the field, find somebody. Then if you needed 2 or 3 yards to get a first down, he would run in and get it. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't going down from the first contact. There's no way. You need about 2 guys, 3 guys to get him down. I mean, talk about a guy that's 6'5", looked like about good 215, 220 maybe. And he was just phenomenal to watch. And pretty much Calvary, man, had their hands full. There wasn't much they could do. all his receivers about 6'1" and maybe a little taller, and they all can run. They all can run. So he has these weapons that he can throw to. Even the best weapon that he has, another best weapon that they have is was hurt. Didn't play that game. I forget his name. So this just goes to show you that they have weapons to plug in to put around Elijah Haven. But Elijah Haven, man, that was just a phenomenal performance to watch Friday night.
407 total yards for Mr. Haven and 5 touchdowns. And again, amazing performance, as you mentioned before there. And I think the other thing that I'm also looking at too is in one of the stat sheets, they have a section where they have big plays. So that means passing over 15 yards, rushing over 10 yards. Dunham had 11 of those. Haven was responsible for at least 8 of those. And so it's like Santana Moss once said, big time players step up and play better in big time plays. Make big time plays in big time games. And he definitely did that on Friday night. Oh, well, Thursday night.
21 to 29 for 274, 3 touchdowns, then rushed 27 times for 136 yards and two scores. That's just phenomenal.
Big time players on the big stage.
Yes, he did what he wanted. He solidified who he's going to become in the near future. There should be no doubt, because most of those guys get gauged on their biggest performance in their biggest games. So that's one. That's not the same kid that I saw play St. Charles Catholic early in the year. And he made mistakes. He had interceptions. He threw pick 6. He evolved since the time that he really played probably the number 1 ranked defense that's around this area. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Elijah Haven, man. He looked like a young Keaton Thomas in his prime at Old Perry Walker.
That's a good comparison. Good comparison.
Congratulations to Dunham. Can they get to the Dome 3 straight years next year? Time will tell. We go to Friday and we talk about that Iowa and North Dakota game that still has people buzzing to this day.
I'm sorry for laughing right quick when VK got his statement. And y'all didn't see VK when his team came out. I swear to God, it looked like VK caught the Holy Spirit when St. Aug ran out the tunnel, man. I don't know what was going through his body, bro. Oh, my God, bro. I was dying laughing, man. Like he caught the Holy Spirit when they came out. I went, you all right? It's been 46 years. I was like, okay, bro, all right. Nice.
There you go. Iowa, North Dakota. Listen to these stat lines. Total yardage for the Yellow Jackets, 588.
Yeah.
North Dakota, 419. No shy of offense in this one.
Should have been more.
Passing yardage, North Dakota, 233. Iowa, 183. Rushing yards, North Dakota 186, Iowa 405 yards rushing in a state title game. And North Dakota won the turnover battle 2-1. Final score 50-43. Yellow Jackets, state champs for the first time in school history.
Congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. The whole city showed up to the Dome. It was a great sight to see. There was people in the stands that I knew that actually went to Iowa High School that was there. This game was phenomenal. I mean, you like offensive showdowns. This is what you had right here. You like shootouts. This is what you had. You had 9 lead changes in this ball game. 9. But like I said when we started the show, Iowa was to me made it a point to give his best players the ball. And Jordan, we mentioned the top 3 best players for Iowa in the pregame with Caston Lewis, Javion Adams, and Jeremiah Bushnell. And Casey Lewis had 172 yards rushing. Javion Adams had 158 yards rushing with a touchdown. And then Jeremiah Bushnell, 4 catches for 112 yards. And he also had 3 carries for 44 yards and 4 touchdowns total. So they were able to get their weapons the ball and have them just create space and do what they do best. So that was a great sight to see within those players with that happening. So you got to credit Iowa for continuing to fight and not giving up, but for them to take that lead back 50-43, going 80 yards to get it, and forcing North DeSoto to turn the ball over on downs when they got the ball back, and they just ran the clock out, was a great way for Iowa to seal that game and win that state championship.
Yeah, they brought their stingers out there when we were talking about the game last week and everything, and we were about to say, "Hold on, guys! Like, hey, look, we got some love for Iowa and everything." But running for 400 yards, 405 yards to be exact, in a ball game, that definitely tells you that you're pretty much in control in winning that ball game there. And the other thing that kind of really stood out to me was 13 of their runs were at least 10 yards or more. So it's again what we mentioned about the good offensive line play and everything. They were getting 7 yards a pop pretty much on the ground. And so it's not just only the running backs for doing those different things, but also the offensive linemen for creating big enough holes here for them to be able to run out there in space as well. And Iowa definitely did a very good job there. And it was, again, kind of poetic that they were able to salt the game away with a very good in their last drive, where they were able to take 6 minutes and 45 seconds off the clock, basically just based off of the running game and also, taking advantage of a few miscues here for North DeSoto as well. So again, hat goes off to Iowa. Congratulations to Exit 43 winning that first state championship. Remember it. This is going to be something that they will probably cherish and remember forever.
Oh, without a doubt, yes.
I thought it was crucial that those two teams played each other in the last 2 playoffs because it had Iowa familiar with the tempo that North DeSoto likes to run.
Jordan, before Nick says something, I wanted to tell you this. Right before the clock ran out, right next to me, and I got it on video. I need to post it. Was Coach John's dad? They brought him out to the field, man, and that was a great sight to see.
A great man for sure. I thought them seeing the tempo those last 2 playoffs was crucial, knowing that they knew what to prepare for.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nick.
Man, I was just excited to sit there and eat lunch with Lamar and watch that game. I told Lamar, I said, I'm hanging with you on this game.
There we go.
And I wanted to go down and watch the game up close, but that trip going back and forth, they had a toll on me. So, look, that was a classic high school football game. And right at the point, Lamar and I was talking about the 100-point that we talk about them scoring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was right at 6 minutes and 45 seconds. And we said we might get 2 more touchdowns scored by then. And lo and behold, the epiphany came. We can't give North DeSoto this ball back. And it was so crazy that we really thought that many scores was going to happen because of the yardage. And I think they needed a total of 25 to 35 yards to get the state record at that particular time.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because we didn't get a chance to see it. We didn't get a chance to see North DeSoto get the ball again and have an opportunity to get the yardage and have an opportunity to win a game. controversy without controversy. We didn't a part of the block, the roughing the punter deal that gave them extra time to score, to keep the ball, to hold them from scoring. Man, that was kind of crazy. That was wild in itself.
Iowa's biggest hater has spoken, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Nick Campbell.
No, man, I love Iowa.
He wanted Lutcher to win. He wanted Bell Chase to win. He wanted North Dakota to win.
You have to went back and watch all those videos.
Iowa Yellow Jackets forever.
Oh,
State
man.
champions.
But I could honestly say this. I had a chance to speak with Coach Jenkins, and he said, I said, Coach, you had the greatest game plan against Iowa all season because that's a very explosive Iowa football team.
You see it. They found ways to win games in the playoffs with good defense, and then the state championship game, it was the offense that went and put up 50. So I'm very excited for Exit 43. I'm very excited for Coach Johns, and I know that community lost a lot this year from two beloved community members. So I know they had the best seats in the house watching down from heaven this past Friday at noon. So I love it for Exit 43 and celebrate. Y'all deserve it.
That's right, man. Create cookies. I'm coming.
There you go.
JP,
Yeah.
tell Jordan that text I sent you.
Shit. I gotta remember which text you sent me, bro.
No, when Iowa took up that 2-touchdown lead, I said, I bet you he going crazy in that booth.
Hey,
Well,
hey.
nope. Actually, I was the only one to say, remember last week, Plaquemine jumped up 14 points and came storming back. So I made sure to make that a point of emphasis. And what do you know? 13 points was erased in a hurry.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's too good of a ball club to just bury.
Yep.
All right, we go to the middle game, which was Sterlington and Gina. A tale of two halves, we call it earlier in the show. Total offense, Gina had 417 to Sterlington's 309. And passing yards, Sterlington only 22, Gina 195. Rushing yards, 287 went Sterlington's way, and 222 went to Gina. Turnovers was 3-2. Some turnovers late also that really made the score separate. And we're not going to be talking about that text I sent to JB.
I don't remember what text you sent me, man. I'm serious.
You don't want to know.
All right, I got you.
34-20. Sterlington goes back to back, JB.
Yeah.
Walk us how we got to that point.
Well, I'm about to walk you right now. So, Gina, they look good in the first half, man. And all guns were blazing with Gina. They got up to a 12-7 lead. They were able to hold Sterlington in check. They used the wide receiver Cooper a lot, and Cooper was pretty much unguardable. They could not cover him. So, what adjustments were made for Sterlington? Number one, hey, we just gonna double cover Cooper. That's it. They felt as if they were able to stop the run pretty well, but the passing game was what was getting them. And Cooper did not have another catch the entire game for Gina. They had a safety over the top, right behind the cornerback. So they took him away instantly, and that pretty much limited what Gina could do offensively. The run was getting stopped. They tried to find other receivers, just didn't work. With that being said, Sterlington scored 4 second-half touchdowns, 2 on defense. So, and that helped them put that game away right there.
Sterlington will make the jump to Division II next year. Has a feeling that Gina might be back in this position next year, Lamar.
I definitely feel so that they will. And by the way, I also want to give a shout out to the Superdome crew and also Ethan for getting me right with my badge and everything, because There were some issues there, I will say, but we got them all taken care of. That's all good to go and everything else
Salute
like
to
that.
Ethan, baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
shout out
yes.
to Ethan for the opportunity of a lifetime to call my first state championship game.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely there. But I think the other thing that really stood out to me was for Sterlington, and it's kind of like what we mentioned about the Iowa game. They were able to run the ball very well with ease, and they finished with 6.7 yards per carry. And so when it's hard to kind of when you're running that well and running that well consistently, oftentimes you're pretty much going to win the ball game. And it wasn't just everything there. Like I said, as a team, they did, but most of the guys that carried the ball, had some big gains there. TJ Birch, 6.2 yards per carry. Xavier
He's a bull,
Stromal,
ain't he?
Xavier Wall Stromal, who really came along in that second half, 13.6 yards. I mean, where he was able to spell Birch. David Hickman, 6.9. J. Rob Breen, 5.5. Shamarian Dismute, 9.3. So it wasn't just one guy that was able to really run the ball consistently and just keep on going, bam, 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 bam. But all five of those guys were able to run the ball consistently, and all five of those guys also had a 10-yard run. So Sterlington, I mean, it just didn't matter who ran the ball for them. It just they were able to get that same production from them as well. And I think that really, really helped them in winning in this ball game. Nice to see Gina open up the game a little bit with the passing game, obviously, because obviously Zadrian Cooper, amazing. For those that have not really got a chance to see him, I think he really had himself a great coming out party. There was one guy that he had even DM'd me just asking me if he had any offers or anything else like that. But at the end, at pretty much the end game there, Sterlington was able. They pushed the right buttons there. They were able to run the ball very well. They got some key turnovers when they counted the most, and that's the reason why they came away with the win. And Coach Lee Doty, man, just continues to do everything the right way.
Let me ask y'all a question right quick. Did y'all catch the deja vu moment that happened in that ball game? And when I tell y'all, it's gonna pop in y'all head like this. The deja vu moment I'm talking about, Trey Birch's pick six. He did it against St. James, and he did it again against Sterlington.
Wow.
That's amazing to me because that's not easy, and it doesn't usually happen. But back-to-back state titles game, and you get an important pick six to help your team win. That's crazy.
He play a mean first base too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, man, Sterlington, they got the blueprint. They got the blueprint for football. I know a lot of guys go out and do 7-on-7 in the little spring and summertime, but the bottom line is still running the football. And selfishly, they got so many different weapons at running back. You can't really game plan for one or two players, especially when your quarterback is playing like he's playing. So kudos to Coach Dottie, man, and having those guys running the ball with the same formula that every great coach and every great team have. We're going to run the football. We're going to play good defense. But I think when you talk about Sterlington, man, is beyond running the ball. It's ground and pound. The interior offensive line was so massive that I see why you couldn't really double up a center or double up a guard like that, man. They got the blueprint, and kudos to that community, man. I met a guy tonight. He had his 4 championship rings on, and it was beautiful. I put it on my wall to say, man, look, these guys are winning football the traditional way, and that's something that I love to see as an old school football lover.
Let's go to the next game, which was the nightcap of Friday. 23-21, St. Charles wins the state title. Here's your stat lines here. Shaw had 310 total yards to St. Charles's 248, 99 passing yards to 174, 211 yards to 74, and one turnover there. We talked a little bit about the game earlier. Now we're going to let the middleman get us started. So, Lamar, before we let both of the guys that know all about these schools, we'll let you go, Lamar, and give us your thoughts on this state title game that had one of the more dramatic finishes I can ever remember.
Just overall, a great game between two really good programs, two really good coaches. A shame somebody had to lose this game, just in general. But again, championship winning programs there. It just seemed like it was a heavyweight fight where both teams traded blows, and you were pretty much at the edge of your seat all the way through. St. Charles Catholic, some good offensive performances, but also for Shaw, some good offensive performances as well. Again, just overall, a great battle. Notwithstanding of what happened at the final part of the ball game, like which I think kind of added along with the flair. But just a great ball game all the way through, and I feel like that these teams played against each other 10 times. I feel like that we would probably get it even 5-5 pretty much all the way through there.
Nick Campbell, let's talk about the state champs and how we got to that point.
Yeah, man, I was a very disappointed onlooker watching that game because I felt like everybody else that the game was over. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it, 0-0 means the game is over. And a couple of guys that was from the community that was on the sideline with me, they left. And they thought the game was over. But you look at the small details that led up to this game, right? Shaw was able to move the ball on St. Charles Catholic defense. That's a win. Shaw had some great special team opportunities in the beginning of the game for Shaw. That's a win. But the last part of the game, and we talked about closing out all year, some teams got to learn how to really close out games in a form of fashion that traditional football, you got to understand the concept of kneeling forward. And that's what I saw. So kudos to Coach Stein and his group. Coach ain't tearing it. He coached a good game because that game was 17 yards at halftime. The very first time that they played, that's like one first down. So kudos to those guys for coaching a really good game. They got a winner and a loser in that game. So shout out to Tom Alto. We talk about him all the time. And to miss Shanka extra point and have an opportunity to redeem itself, man, it could be only nothing but the divine in itself.
My turn. So there's a lot more that I will say on Hash It Out So on Tuesday about this, but I'm gonna get into it here as well because we breaking down the boot, and I don't disagree with what Nick said on that point. I don't when it comes to the kneeling, but I'm gonna get to it in a second. I want to get to the missed touchdown first. The touchdown that was called a touchdown when it wasn't. Because I'm on the sideline with the video. And it's clear as day that the guy got tackled before entering the end zone. And the ref runs seconds after the tackle happens and raises his hands for a touchdown. And I'm sitting there like, it's not a touchdown. So I'm waiting for a replay to come down and replay this touchdown. I mean, it's state championship game. Let's get stuff right. Let's get it right. And they wasn't going to replay that at all. They wasn't. Coach Hank had to call a timeout and waste a timeout and ask them to replay it. They didn't have enough evidence, they say. We move on past that. That ain't why Shaw lost or anything like that. We move past that. All right, let's go down. Now, let's get to what we want to talk about number 50, throwing the helmet, and let's get to it right now, right? Because I'm about to get into detail with this, people. I need y'all to listen to me, all right? 2 timeouts, less than 30 seconds. What can Wayne Stein do to win that game, Nick Campbell?
Nothing.
Bam. There it is. He can't do nothing. So Shaw's mind is nail the ball out. Now, yes, I agree. Get under center and nail the ball out. You lost 7 yards 3 times. And then we have to add on a penalty, which we'll get to in a second. That's a total of 36 yards. Put that in your mind. 36 yards, people. All right, but anyway, there's nothing Wayne Stein can do. Shaw nails the ball. They nail the ball. Okay. Nothing happens. Shaw center throws the helmet up, running to his sideline in celebration, people. In celebration, okay? The man I always say is the man I say that's a genius. His name is Wayne Stein. Wayne Stein sees it and calls timeout 7 seconds after it happens. 7 seconds. Think about that now, people. Do y'all think the ref was going to throw a flag on Shaw? No, because the ref mind as well, this game is over. Game over. They about to start celebrating. Coach Stein calls that timeout, calls the refs over, and tells them they supposed to throw a flag on that play. The boy took his helmet off. The refs get away from him, get in the huddle, and discuss it, and then throw the flag. And then give him his timeout back. That's the issue I have with this. Because we've seen teams celebrate with 30 seconds left, 20 seconds left. They come on the field throwing their helmets left and right. They celebrate. No flag is thrown. Those refs were not going to throw a flag on Shaw at all. At all. I talked to some officials. They said the flag should have never been thrown because in their minds as well, the game is over. They said it should not have happened to where a coach calls a timeout and it makes it seem as if maybe they got forced to or whatever. I don't know.
And take them on with you.
I understand. I understand. But if the flag was thrown when he did it, I don't have a problem with it. All right. So I just think that was a celebration. It had no
What was the flag for though? Unsportsmanlike conduct. They got a video circulating on TikTok how Coach Hank Turney at the point of the kid.
Yeah, but I've been to the state championship since 2013, and I've watched people celebrate less than 40 seconds before storming the field throwing helmets.
Correct. Now, Nick, I hear what you're saying. The video of Coach Kank and them telling him put it coming back on. Yes, that is correct. Yes, it's there. It's there. But in reality, like Jordan just said, this boy's going to celebrate. The game is over. There's nothing Coach Stein can do. Press conference, Nick, you was there. Coach Stein said, I was contemplating on whether or not to call a timeout. What does that mean? He knew he couldn't win the game. And then he said, but when I saw him throw that helmet, I called a timeout. And that's when he went to the officials. Too. And do I blame him for that? No, I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at it. What can I do to try to still win the game? I don't blame Coach Stein for that. I said, man, a genius. Did I say that? So that's why, like, how can we all of a sudden just throw a flag then? But like I said, I'll get more into it on the show. But I want to say this before we go, because like I said, I talked to officials and I talked to coaches, and they all said that Coach Stein was not supposed. Well, no, wait, hold on. I'll take it back. The coaches I talked to said Coach Stein was not supposed to get that timeout back. I called 2 officials I know this morning, and what they said to me is that he was supposed to get the timeout back because it was pending a penalty. But what I also got was an NFHS rule that says he wasn't supposed to get the timeout back. So I want to know what's right. Help me.
Damn, JB. I just watched a video, and Iowa took a kneel down at 38 seconds, and everybody's on the field.
That's the point I'm making. Yes, sir. That's the point I'm making. So this is a celebration of a kid, but got flagged because Coach Stein called a timeout and told the people they had to throw a flag on him. So that genius, man. But anyway, anyway though, That's just the issue I got with it, because I felt like no flag should have been thrown. And the refs just, when I play the video on Tuesday, y'all gonna see the refs just sitting there. Like, game over. They were not gonna throw a flag. So it's a lot to be said about it. I want to know what's right. What those officials sent me, they're saying they had to get the timeout back, or the NFHS guidelines that the LHSAA follows that said he wasn't supposed to get it back. That's all I had to say about it. That's all.
Yeah, you those kids on both sides. You're gonna
Definitely.
have the thrill of victory and the agony of this process. But man, I'm just one of those old cuss coaches and I want to secure the game at all. Is discipline. A lot of stuff we lack in our society in sports is discipline. And that's a classic example of being disciplined when you gotta love to respect the football game. And to the clock hit 0-0. I always teaches my kid playing sports. The championship is after the clock goes 0, and then you can celebrate. And hopefully there's a lesson learned for all parties. Because look, Coach Monica, he's one of those guys that do not let his kids take off their helmet on the side. Coach Wayne loosely does it now, but those guys, those old school guys, listen to be learned. Keep your helmet on. Keep that lid on, and this game is over.
I understand it. I do. But like I said, it was a natural emotion, and we see these teams do this when they know the game is done. And that's what that was. He went celebrate. And I just have a hard time seeing the refs not throw a flag when it happened. And they were gonna let Shaw celebrate and then throw a flag after Stein calls a timeout and tells them you gotta throw a flag on them. That's just the issue I have with it, because they wasn't gonna throw a flag. And then the flag comes out once the timeout was. That's the issue I got with it.
I saw this on CBS.
I mean, like I said, it's viral everywhere. CBS, ESPN, Bleacher Report. Yeah, it's on everything, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's all over. They had a similar idea, but not to that degree. Happened in Texas. A kid took a ball out, another kid had a touchdown.
Yes, indeed. I mean, so that's what I wanted to say about it here on the Boot Breakdown. I'll talk more about it on Tuesday and Wednesday. But I always call that man a genius, man. I always have. And I know I gotta see him soon, because I lost the hat bet to Nick, so I gotta get a St. Charles Catholic hat and wear it on the show. You know what I'm saying? But so we can get out of this topic. But yeah, congrats to St. Charles and Coach Stein. But that's just the issue I had. And look, I'll be honest with y'all. If that happened to St. Charles Catholic, I would say the same thing. I would be fair on both sides. Trust me on that. You keep breaking. You breaking up now. You breaking up now. We can't hear you, Nick. You keep breaking up. Go ahead, JT.
It has now become the biggest teaching, coaching moment across the entire state of Louisiana going into 2026. You will see that clip in every program moving forward of how games can be factored right there at the end when it comes to kneel down purposes. So you best believe every coach is using that as a teaching moment moving forward. Like me and Lamar said at the beginning of the show, we stand with number 50, and that will never change. So we hope he can find a way to get past this, and the hate that he's received in these last 2 days will go away.
Yeah, I checked on him. Saturday morning, and he's doing all right, and he's gonna be with his brothers at school tomorrow, and he's gonna be fine. He's strong, he's down, he's hurting, but he's gonna be fine.
And hopefully he can also have a redemption moment, kind of like what the kicker had for St. Charles as well for missing that extra point. So
Yeah.
hopefully he can have a redemption moment as well. So that's also what I want to say too.
Yep. And the only reason I jumped into y'all hash it out moment was because I've seen teams all weekend and 10, 20 years ago that would go on the field celebrating without helmets with even less time than
Correct.
what was shown this past weekend. So, but kudos to coach for St. Charles. He had the timeouts, and he didn't just take his headset off and walk to the 50-yard line. He coached to the final 0. So that shows you that he's locked into the very final whistle.
He wasn't calling the time. He wasn't calling the timeout if the helmet didn't come off. He was conceding defeat.
He was going to stand there to the 0 hit on the scoreboard, and they didn't. It gave them life. They took advantage of it. So congratulations to St. Charles as we move forward. And tune in on Tuesday. It's going to be a spiritual conversation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the game on Saturday, it was the rematch of a 7-point game in the regular season between Ruston and Ouachita Parish. You knew this was an opportunity to see two good teams going at it again. Would it deliver? Would I damn say it did. Ruston had 367 total yards, and Ouachita Parish had 369. That's how close this one was.
Yeah.
Passing yards, Ruston led the way, 227. Man, Ahmad Hudson was an animal in this game. 184 for Ouachita Parish, 140 rushing yards for Ruston, and 185 for Ouachita Parish. And only one turnover in this game, and it was the big one. There at the end. We talked about the field goal at the end, 52 yards, tall task. It was short, and it was right. Ouachita Parish, Coach Benji Lewis, from 5th in the district to the last team standing. What a coaching job he's done, and what a job for Ouachita Parish to run the gauntlet through the playoffs and get to this point to hold the trophy.
Yeah, you're right about that. Running the gauntlet in the playoffs, man. You defeat Parkway, Neville, Destrehan, and even Ruston for the championship, man. That is a very impressive run right there.
You want to throw if you want to throw Cinnamon in there also round one.
We could throw Cinnamon in there. We could throw him in there as well. part of their revenge tour. But they were down 14-0 early. They were down 14-0, but able to settle down, get the nerves out, and then they were able to play that type of game. And then down 20-14 in that fourth quarter, that 50-50 ball that Wydell Clark hauled in for the touchdown. I kind of felt like that may be it. You just get that feeling when something big happens, like, oh, they might have just sealed this deal. Well, kind of spoke too soon, because here comes Ahmad Hudson, man, making people miss left and right and cut across the field. But like we said earlier, Wydell Clark again, comes and strips him from behind to give Ouachita the ball. And that was pretty much all she wrote. Their defense stood tall, forcing a 51-yard field goal for the win for Ruston. That was, like Jordan said, way short and to the right. Credit Coach Benji and his staff and these players, man. From losing close ball games early in the year and then figuring out how to win close ball games, because Destrehan was a 2-point win. Parkway was a 6-point win. Neville, that was a 14-7 win, I believe, and then a 21-20 win here. They figured out how to win close ball games after not knowing how to win close ball games. So, man, you got to credit that entire staff and players, man, on just persevering and knowing that they can do good things and win big time games, and they did that, and they deserve this state championship.
Yeah, totally. They definitely did deserve winning the state championship, and again, from what I saw, I mean, from week 9 when they played against Ash, I mean, this was a team that I felt like that was a dangerous team. I mean, they were much better than their seed suggests, and like you said, if they got hot, if they got into a good groove, that they could do some damage there. By the way, shameless plug, you can catch my story about this game on the Rustin Daily Leader. So I do have the Rustin account on that one as well. But I will say this: I felt like for Rustin, there were some missed opportunities for them. They jumped out to a good lead, 14-0 in the ball game, which I think was one of the things that Coach Ball had mentioned that they really wanted to do. They wanted to start off fast, especially after um, last year's title game when they lost to Central. But I think that after that 14-0 lead, they had a few missed opportunities, like getting to the red zone a couple of times in the second quarter and also in the third quarter, but wasn't able to really punch the ball in. And then they had to settle for field goals, and that kind of kept Washington in the ball game there. Where I thought if they would have probably punched the ball in, now you put some more pressure on Washington. Now that they have to score to keep up, to keep being in the ball game at that point. That 14-point lead is a much better than having being up by 6 and knowing that Washington all they need is just one possession to really uh, take control of the ball game. The strip, I think that was also another one. You know, a great fourth down call, by the way, for Jared Barr, for to get a wide receiver pass, get it to your big target in Hudson. But the unfortunate thing was fumbling the ball right there. That was just tough. And again, Wydell Clark, big play as well. But like I said, just very tough for Rustin for fumbling the ball right there. And then, the 52-yard field goal where, uh, Ramos, he'll be back next year. So, at least this isn't going to be a moment that he's going to be the fine by or anything else like that. But, just those things, those microcosms right there became a little bit of a different point here for Rustin um, winning in the ball game and then losing in the ball game. But a lot to be accomplished here for Rustin. 4 straight times getting down to the dome. Not too many teams can really say that. And I think I did look up at what the senior class has done. They were 48-8 during their career. So they've been really accomplished. They helped put Rustin back on the map and everything. But, just was a tough game there. Good battle between two teams that really knew each other very, very well.
Old block.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 straight years, we get a double-digit seed win a state title. 12 seed, 18 seed, and now 14 seed. Anybody
18
before?
Cecilia, 18 was Cecilia, 14 is Washington. Who's the 12?
It was OHS.
Washington.
OHS.
No, Appaloosa. Sorry.
Appaloosa.
Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Anybody else before the year before that? Or is it 3 straight years we got a double-digit seed?
I'm on it.
Bell Chase 2008, 12 seed.
No, I'm talking about like how many years?
I know. Yeah, I'm just saying that's the last one I remember. I just can't. Lamar's
I
gonna get on
remember
it though.
Acadiana was a 26 in 2010. I know, but let me check and see for a second.
So, congratulations to a Washington Parish. As he looks that up, I'm gonna read you those Carr and St. Aug stats.
There you go.
Carr had 389 total yards. St. Aug had 227. Carr had 169 passing yards. St. Aug had 171. Carr rushed for 220 yards. St. Aug rushed for 56 yards. Carr caused 5 turnovers in this game to St. Aug's 1. that's where the game was won, in my opinion. They did it in the turnover battle, 5 of them, and I think they turned all 5 of them into points, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember all of them being for points, but some were. Also remember St. Augustine's offense did not score a point.
Yep, it
St.
was.
Augustine scored off a kick return and a pick six. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, the defense did not allow a point for Edna Carr. It starts with Big Rich, and he didn't have the type of game that he had last year, but he's still that force that gets everything going. And from Aiden Hall, Maurice Williams, Torrance Sanders, Kevin Martin, the list goes on. Those guys were just dominant up front, and St. Augustine just they got across the 50 a couple of times, but once they got across the 50, then they were just shut down. There was nothing they could do at all. Offensively, we all are used to Edna Carr being more of a passing team more than anything. But this year was a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Didn't have the type of receivers that we are used to seeing Edna Carr have. So John Johnson had to run the ball more, but Trey Garrison, who's going to Washington State, has proven to be one of the best running backs that Edna Carr has had, and he was the most valuable player. 41 rushing attempts for Trey Garrison. You don't ever hear that about Edna Carr, ever. So he was able to rush the ball 41 times and help his team get that victory. So Edna Carr was just dominant on both sides of the ball.
You got that stat for us, Lamar?
Yeah, that is correct. 3 straight years that a double-digit seed has won. We did have a double-digit seed get there in 2022. That was Brother Martin, but they lost to John Curtis.
Okay. So 3 straight years we got a double-digit seed because of the way of Ouachita Parish this season. All right, Carr St. Aug, you hear the stat line, you see the turnovers that was caused. Your thoughts, Lamar?
Yeah, just overall a pretty good game. I feel like, again, Carr Coronation, they really took it through. Credit to St. Aug for really battling in this ball game for at least I think for at least the first 3 quarters. They were because it was a very good ball game within that point. But when Carr got going, and especially taking advantage of some of the miscues in the 4th quarter. I think that really turned the game around there in that contest. Credit again to Carr's defense. They did not allow an offensive touchdown in the ball game. Both of those touchdowns that St. Aug scored were of the defensive variety or the special teams variety. So again, that shows what Carr was able to do, their speed, their team speed, and everything. And like I said, just overall a coronation here for what Carr has been able to do. I think 26 straight wins, 26, 27.
26.
Am I correct? Okay, 26 straight wins. So they definitely have put a stamp on them being probably one of the best teams all time in the state, for all the way through. And just also having the target on your back after winning it last year and also being the program that you are, but to show up night in and night out to constantly win those ball games and stand up there, that does have a lot to really say in that contest. So credit to Coach credit to Edna Carr, credit to Coach Bryce Brown, and credit to that program there. They continue to show why they're one of the top premier programs in the state.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. I'm in Jefferson, Louisiana, where this internet is terrible. Carr Cougars
they epitomize that 26 game winning streak, man. Nationally ranked. Can't say nothing about the 16, 15, 16 signees playing. Watching that game yesterday, fellas, it was a game that is that me?
Keep talking. We hear you. Got a little static, but we hear you.
Okay, yeah. Just watching that game on yesterday, man, made me realize that when you look at Carr's sideline, Carr look like they got like one coach for every 5 players. And it's going to be hard to compete with any team of that magnitude. The groundwork was laid. They know they had to run the ball to wear St. Aug down. Coach Valdez is one of these young and up and coming coaches himself, man, with a really good team. But you can look at the size disparity on Carr versus St. Aug, and it was a Hercules effort for St. Aug to really come out that Superdome victorious on Saturday night.
Tell you what, I love the moment after the game. Love the moment after the game, JB. I'm not sure if you were there or not, but when Edna Carr went over to the fans and brought the trophy over to the mom, if you know her.
Yeah. Corey's mom.
If you want to talk about that before we finish up here.
Yeah, just the season was dedicated to Corey trying to think of Corey's last name. I'm gonna get it right quick. Right now, just give me a second because Corey Adams. I want to say Corey Amos, but Corey Adams of Edna Carr, who was unfortunately killed early this year in Memphis, Tennessee. So Edna Carr dedicated this entire season to him, and his mom was in the stands. And after they took the group picture, they went into the stands and gave his mom the trophy. So I thought it was a very, very wonderful, great thing to do in honor of Corey Adams, who they dedicated the season to.
Yep. All right. 8 games happened this past week. Who was game of the weekend?
North DeSoto, Iowa.
Lamar?
That's definitely one of them up there. I'll probably say Washington Ruston. I really like that game too.
Can't go wrong with that.
I would say Washington Ruston, and the first week of the playoffs, I told you guys on my TikTok page, I didn't interview. I was a part of Coach Benji Lewis' interview, right?
Yeah.
And he talked about how humble he was. And that's not one of the coaches that I've accustomed to learn from him, being at Neville, being a good, really defensive coordinator, and how his guys was prepared and how he watched other teams celebrate and how he had to get his team to promise to never go to Dusherhan and lose a game like this again. And from that moment, I knew that was a very special interview, because the message to his team is, if we can go in and beat Dusherhan, we can go and beat anybody. I'm gonna load it up to my YouTube page so y'all can check it out.
Definitely.
Iowa for me. Who was player of the weekend for you guys, in your opinion?
Play of the weekend. Oh man, I'm going Bushnell. Iowa. Jeremiah Bushnell.
Haven for me. Yeah, Haven for me. Just overall great performance that he had.
I would ditto that too. Elijah Haven really proven to me that his stripes are warranted, that he is our representation for one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Team of the weekend, who was it?
Team of the weekend. Oh man, Cougars of Edna Carr.
Lamar?
Ditto, same. Edna Carr, team of the week, team of the year.
My team of the week would be the Riverside Rebels. Riverside Rebels lost against that team last year in the same type of game, a run battle game. Coach Lee had an opportunity not to face the same coach, but face the same team with a lethal and dynamic running back just as well as Mr. Elsie. So Riverside Rebels get my team of that weekend because they came out throwing the ball knowing where they had a good running back themselves. So they had to get away from what they did to become a state championship winner.
Best story of the weekend, what was it?
Oh, best story of the weekend? Revenge Tour, Washita.
Lamar?
I think outside of the revenge tour for Washita, the redemption story for St. Charles kicker. I guess I'll go ahead with that one.
Yeah.
Nick?
I got to use the whole St. Charles as an entirely for Coach Talley. Coach Talley was a guy that coached my son. Coach Talley tragically died in his sleep. St. Charles was playing with a heavy heart for the last year and a half in representation of Coach Talley. And that's some of the stories that we as people that's outside of us never hear about. But that team was playing for Coach Talley and to win and to really celebrate his legacy. That's what all was said in the press conference. It was about Coach Talley's legacy, man. So kudos to the Comets finding a way, whatever it took to be victorious.
Put a bow on this 2025 season. Your final words as we close out high school football this year, JB.
Final words here on the boot breakdown for me. I have enjoyed doing this show with my good friends here. And as you guys know, we're going to be losing one. As JT won't be able to join us no more in the boot breakdown for reasons that I totally understand. And being able to do this show with this guy, and y'all just don't know, ladies and gentlemen, as I got into this business of starting a show and starting the Hash It Out Show Game of the Week, I sent Jordan a message one day. Just send him a message. And that's how this relationship between Jordan and I has started. And he was very influential in helping me being able to run a show and how to stream games and everything. And like I always said, I'm always going to be here for him no matter what, because I owe a lot to this guy. And we're going to miss you here in the boot breakdown, brother. We're going to miss you in the boot breakdown, man. And this was a fabulous 16 weeks of shows being able to do with you, man. And I understand why you got to leave. Totally understand it, but I just want to say I enjoyed and cherished this time of being able to do this show with you, brother.
Final words, close out this 2025 season. Lamar Gap.
I think overall, just great season all the way through as it is every year. It's just you hate to see it end because you just have so many good moments and everything else like that. But always getting the chance to see the dome and everything and to see these teams win championships, that's amazing. Just with this as well, I mean, I thank y'all so much for welcoming me with open arms, and getting a chance to talk about this, about the state and everything, because this was very beautiful. Getting a chance to meet you guys as well. I mean, I've seen Jordan over the last couple of years, having some good food over there at Bunky and the Grove, where they were throwing food at us. JB, I mean, we go way back, you and VK as well. Finally getting a chance to see Nick as well, and getting a chance to chop it up with him. Always a good thing. And getting the chance to also see a lot of my journalism buddies, at the Dome as well. I mean, I may not be attached to a newspaper right now, but I still do this, and it's great. It's therapeutic to get a chance to continue to see all you guys continuing to make it very well. And like I said, great season all the way through. Can't wait to see what next season has to offer. Just hoping for bigger and better. That's basically it. Just hoping for bigger and better.
Yeah, man. I know it's holiday season time. It's gonna be our perfect time to buy out. But this boot breakdown was very beneficial to especially the people in the River Parish that don't have the opportunity to know what other teams are doing. And to get to check out the Hash It Out show, to check out Under the Lights, and we build a rapport with a group of guys that have the same interests we have. They're lovers of football, and honest and truly, with Lamar coming on a radio and stuff like that, we're gonna, in the near future, we're gonna have him highlighted more for his area of expertise in that area, man. I'm telling you, because some of the kids that's not kids, some of the folks that's in the River Parish works in the plants, and they would love to hear syndication through the radio and knowing what's going on. So stay tuned, Lamar, with that, so we can have these guys knowing what's going on through the boot breakdown also. So I appreciate every last one of you guys from the heart, man, because it really made a connection through the state. Couple people from Sterlington came up to me, talked about the show. Couple people from Iota, they said, "Well, I don't like Iota," but it's not like that. So it was good to have this opportunity to meet some different people up on this journey. So this will be my second tournament that I've done. Did a couple girls basketball tournaments. So hopefully we can see each other in the near future, my friend.
Definitely.
A great 16 weeks has to come to an end. Everyone, thank you for joining us on this journey as we took you across the state of Louisiana every Sunday evening to break down the boot, giving you scores, reactions, headlines, and all things high school football as we get you ready to go into holiday season. So from mine to yours, we say happy holidays. We hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from everyone at the Boot Breakdown, and for you guys, also for your families. Also, congratulations to the 8 state champions: Haynesville, Riverside, Dunham, Iowa, Sterlington, St. Charles, Ouachita Parish, and Edna Carr. Congratulations to the 8. Enjoy the holidays, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Taylor, Lamar Gafford, Nick Campbell, and JB the Sports Guy. We say goodbye for now. We will see you down the road. For JB, it's hoops. For Lamar, it's hoops. And for Nick, it's hoops. For myself, it's a long, much-needed vacation. I'm going to Colorado next month, so I will take a vacation and then it's jumping straight into high school softball, because I also coach high school softball. So you go from one sport to another, like you guys will cover high school basketball, and I know y'all will do great things. So
Yeah,
if y'all
it.
ever need anything good luck. If y'all ever need anything in the future, don't hesitate to reach out.
No, you know that,
No
bro. You got
worries.
that,
Thank
man.
you very much.
Appreciate you, man.
God bless high school football, and God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you down the road.
Who Blake
Amen.
Young be back next season.